What's up, guys? Today is a special day. Well, it is for some of you guys. Today is a Bungie day. I don't know, but a lot of people are talking about Bungie day on Twitter and stuff like that. And by Bungie, I don't mean that we're all gonna go bungee jump, because you guys are alone on that one. A lot of you may not know that I was actually chosen for the Destiny Alpha. I've just randomly, I was like, all right. And I actually recorded a lot of footage. I played it, but my brother was the one that played the most out of the alpha of Destiny, because he was a big Halo fan back in the day, and he wanted to try this out. And he's a lot better at first-person shooters than I am anyway, so I was like, yeah, you feel free, take your time, you know, enjoy. I'm gonna be rolling some footage on here so that you guys could see specifically the character creator. I want to talk about character creation in general, so but you guys could see the character creator in the background for Destiny, because it's not a bad one. And the graphics of this game I was like, wow, for this to be an alpha, this looks really nice. I'm a big fan of character customization in general. RPGs are the ones that are mostly known for character creation. I always like a sense of character customization anyways. Like, for example, in The Witcher 2, you had a pre-made character. Now that is an RPG, but you didn't have a character creator. It was just like, that's The Witcher, and play as The Witcher. You don't change him, you don't choose who he is, all that stuff. You do get to choose some dialogue and all that, but he's pretty much a pre-made character, or an existing character. But you did have a little bit of customization when it came to The Witcher. Like, you could get his haircut. And I was thinking about that. I was like, should that be something that that developers should have more so in games, where they allow you to at least cut your hair or have a beard or something like that, or get a tattoo or something, because you're not really changing the character. It's not like you're creating a character, you're just customizing them. I would like to see that more in games, but it's not necessary. And in some games, really, there's no point. There's really no point. Like, say your crazy first-person shooters, you're not even going to see the character, so who cares? But in other games, specifically third-person games, I would like to do that, because I love to just make my character look different, like, you know, kind of realistic, where it's like he's gonna go get a haircut or whatever. But then there's also the situation where you're like, well, maybe you should respect the way that the developer wants that character to look, because maybe that character looks like that for a specific reason, or maybe that character has this type of hair for a specific reason, or whatever. But when it comes to full-on character creators, I think only a few games have nailed it. Someone was showing me on Twitter this one game called, I think it was a Korean game. It's called Black Desert, and it's like an MMO or a MOBA. I don't know what it is. Their character creator, I was like, is this like some kind of like character model program? They have like actual dots with lines on them so that you could change the length of the strand of hair that's like hanging here. It's the customization is insane. You could curl the hair. Oh my god, props to them for putting that effort into doing a character creator like that. I'll put the link in the description. That's the future of character creation right there, but I'm sure that takes ages to do. I have a few pet peeves when it comes to character creation. Now, I'm one of those people that actually takes hours sometimes making a character, but in the end, it really pays off for me, because I end up loving these characters, like my Shepherd, my Hawk, my Warden, my character in Dragon's Dogma. All the characters that I've created, I've really felt a connection with them because I created them the way that I imagined them. This is one pet peeve of mine. In Mass Effect, you could get some shepherds that actually looked really good. Like, I really liked my Shepherd, but you had to take a long time fiddling with little things here and there. And in Mass Effect 3, the thing that really ticked me off was that they changed some stuff, so you couldn't really import the way that your shepherd looked like in Mass Effect 2. And if you tried it, the shepherd looked different. My shepherd, my female shepherd specifically, because my male shepherd, after hours of working on him, I finally got him to look similar to what he had looked like in Mass Effect 2. And I actually liked him better with the way that he looked like in Mass Effect 3. But my female shepherd, I just could not get her to look the same way. And I think it was because they had taken out the hairstyle that I had used or something. And she just looked different. She looked bad. And I was like, oh my God. That made me feel so mad. If you're going to have a character creation and you're going to import a character from a previous game, you want to make sure that it's going to work and you're going to be able to import that face model or be able to have a way where you could just input the code and it'll be the same shepherd, because that is really going to mess with the immersion and mess with people's characters because they're going to look different. Another thing that just cannot be nailed in character creation, sometimes some games have come really close where it's like, okay, that's not bad, is hair. Hair is always an issue. It always looks weird. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't look flowy. It looks like it's a Lego head, like that Lego hair, where it's just like sitting there. And sometimes the edges are even pointy, and they look, sometimes when they turn around, you can see that the hair like blend into the head inside, and it's just like, I mean, I understand that's probably behind the scenes. I understand that it's very hard to do hair on a development standpoint, but there's got to be a way to prevent that. Like, man, you got to make that forehead like solid or something, that the hair won't go into your head, because that does not happen. Another thing that bothers me so much about character creators is when the character is looking forward like this and they're moving constantly like this, and they're doing like these faces, and they're just, that whole thing messes with the character creator. Don't make them move. It's fine if you have like in Dragon's Dogma, where you had a button, if you pushed it you could see expressions. The character will make an expression and you could see how that character looked like with that specific face you put on them or whatever. That's fine, but don't have them just by default going. How the hell am I supposed to edit their eyes if the whole time they're freaking squinting? I don't remember what character creator it was that I was ready to just explode, because the character would go like this the whole time. It would go like this and then it would stop, and I had to like rush in that moment when they opened their eyes to actually edit them, because when they would like this, it would look like they were freaking closed. And I was like, oh my God. I don't know why developers do that. If any developers are out there watching this, don't do that. Have them stand there and just look forward. They could be blinking, whatever. But don't have them going. And then they move like this. And the problem about them moving like this is the shadows. The shadows cast differently and you can't see. Where you're like, what color are the eyes? What color is the freaking hair? What did I just choose? What does it look like in the back? That's another thing. Character creators should always have you be able to zoom in, out, turn the character around. I hate the ones, I believe Destiny is actually one that you cannot turn the character around. So you can't see how the hair in the back looks, which really surprised me. I was like, okay, fine. The Elder Scrolls Online, they had you able to edit the whole body, not just the face. Now that's not always a must, but it would be nice if you're going to add a character creator where you could really create your character and be like, that's my character. You should always allow the person to edit the body. But in the Elder Scrolls Online, it didn't have an amazing character creation, but it did allow a lot of options where you can make the character fat, you can make them thin, you can make them short, you can make them tall, that kind of stuff. But they also had it where the character would be just in their underpants, just like their undies, like pretty much naked, and that helps a lot. But then also they had the option to put test armors as well, like how they would look like in armor or in robes or whatever, and that was useful. Another thing that really ticks me off is, say in games where you could put hats on, like Grand Theft Auto, like Saints Row, specifically Saints Row, because Saints Row did have a character creator. Sometimes when you'd put a hat on, your hair would it would be different hair. In Watch Dogs as well, there's no character creator, but you do have the option to change clothes and hat. It's all one, but it all changes it. Depending on the hat, it'll change Aiden's hair. The specific type of hat, that's a hat like this one, it has his hair shaggy. And then if you put like a snapback, it's like cut, like clean cut. And you're like, why? Like, why? And it does it to that as well with like a military cap. It cuts his hair. If you're gonna do that, then don't even give us the option. So I went on Twitter and Facebook, and I was asking you guys to give me some ideas of what you guys thought of character creation, and do you prefer games with character creation or without it? A lot of people were talking about hair. And I really like what this person said, that we should be able to edit the hair, not just like choose what hairstyle you want. It would be awesome if, yeah, okay, you could choose pre-made hairstyles already, like templates, but you should have sliders as well, just like other games, where you have like, say, pre-made faces to help you out, like a pointy jaw, a round face, whatever, and then have sliders. So if you want to change some stuff, you could go ahead and do that. You could do that with hair. If you could do that with hair, that would be awesome. Where you could just like change the length, the shortness. It's like, oh, I like that style, but only if it was a little bit shorter, or a little bit shorter from the back and longer from the front, or like maybe half purple on top and then white at the bottom. Other people were also talking about tattoos and piercings. I agree with this. I remember, I believe it was Kingdoms of Amalur that allowed a lot of different types of piercings. Like they could give you like a certain amount of earrings that you could put on whatever body part, and you just go ahead and like place them or something. Like you could place them on the ear, like maybe 3 on the ear or 1 in the nose, like that. Like they could give you the option of putting more than just 1 or 2. A lot of times tattoos are only placed on the face, but I like games that actually allow you to get the character all tatted up. Like in my character in Saints Row was covered in tattoos, and I also like when they give you the option of placing that tattoo, and it's not just like pre-made right here. No, it's like, oh no, I want the smiley face here or here, but it won't allow it. It's like, no, just the smiley face goes there. The biggest thing that I was seeing people talking about was that they want to make themselves. This is not a new concept. It's different for me because I've never made myself in a game, and I've never wanted to make myself in a game. I've said this in previous videos. I don't really play as myself when I'm playing a game. When you see me reacting in face cams and stuff like that in games that I do, like Let's Plays, where you see me reacting, I'm reacting as the character. I think that's why I like to act. I like acting. It's very easy for me to capture a character or the personality of a character and express that, but not as myself, because I'm different. I'm not that person, but I just automatically do it ever since I was a little kid. Some people have said, I can't believe you would do that. Like when they see me react a specific way, like say with Mass Effect, with my Shepard, a choice that I would do, they'd be like, I can't believe you would do that. And I'm like, I wouldn't. I would never make the choices that my original Shepard made. or any of my characters. A lot of the choices are very different from what I would do. I like creating characters. Like, that's what I love. That's pretty much all I would do on the Elder Scrolls Online. I would just create characters. I more than just then play the game. It didn't even run well on my Mac anyways. But and I'm talking about the beta, not the actual game. They were even saying that they want to be able to like actually take screen captures of yourself and place them on the character creator, and I was like, wow, that would be amazing. But I don't think, not even then, I don't think I would do it. It would be way too weird to me. I believe, I don't know where I read this, that they are thinking about doing that, like with the Kinect and the PlayStation, the camera, that it would take a picture of your face and you could actually incorporate it. It might have been like a sports game, but that technology is not far away, so don't doubt that one day you will be able to do that. I like creating separate characters, like Garrick Shepherd. He's my shepherd, and he's obviously not me because he's a he. And it's not like he would be me if I was a guy. No, he's like completely different, and he's my own character that I actually wrote up in my head. Like, he's a paragate that is, you know, he's got his personality. Another person was saying that they don't really they have a lot of trouble making characters, and a lot of people have trouble making characters in character creators. In Mass Effect, they actually had the code of the character, so you could get some really good looking shepherds, like off forums. They would just provide the code for you, and you could just copy paste it on there, and it would make that shepherd for you, and you're like, bam, perfect. Like, some people like that. So I was like, that is a really good idea, that all character creators should allow codes. That, I don't think that's hard to do. I mean, everything you do has a number or whatever. It has a representation, a number or letter, and boom, you get a code. So I think all character creators should have that for people that don't want to spend a lot of time, but they want a customized shepherd and not just some pre-made like random shepherd that they press A until they get one that looks all right. At least something like a guide that would make it so that you had at least proportionate features that would look okay if you're editing like manually. But I was like, well, what is proportionate? You know, what if some people proportionate would be the chin in a little bit, and for other people it's like, no, the chin should be out. So then I was like, maybe they should have like an option where you could click and it would be just free range. You do whatever you want. You can make an ugly shepherd, or you click on like a guided character creation where things would be like, you would have pre-made typical faces or something like that, where you just choose what face you want, kind of like in Dragon's Dogma. What I would like to see in the future for character creators would be to have not only facial features and like body features and all that, but as well as voice, where this would be really, it would take a lot of money and a lot of effort, but I think it would be worth it to have at least three different voices to suit the character, because sometimes you create a character and the voice doesn't really fit. You know, where you're like, I created this very old character and they're supposed to be kind of like shy or whatever. Like, that's how you see them, as like quiet or whatever. And they have this spunky voice where you're just like, doesn't really fit. Kind of like in Saints Row, that was awesome, where you could choose the voice. You could even change the pitch. I mean, it sounded ridiculous when you changed the pitch sometimes, because it literally could sound like a chipmunk. And they actually had Troy Baker as one of them, freaking Nolan North in the new Saints Row. So I mean, it's possible. That would be awesome. And they're kind of doing that with Dragon Age Inquisition as well. They're offering two voices for male and two voices for female. So they should do that more, because it does make a difference to a lot of people, because you're like, oh, like really picky people that take forever on their character creators and actually like have this character envisioned in their mind. It would be nice. Oh my god, this is a must. This is a must. I don't care if you're big on character creator or not, but this is a must in all games with character creators. Dragon Age 2 had the Black Emporium. That concept should be in all games with character creator. This is crucial because you spend hours making that character. And I don't care what you say, the character in the character creator is going to look different in game because of the cinematics. They're going to look different. So you always make a character, or at least I always make a character in character creator, and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to test it and see how they look in game. I remember Patrick Weeks was one of the writers from Dragon Age and Mass Effect, was tweeting the other day. He was like, why is it that I always make a character in like Mass Effect? He was specifically talking about, I always make a character, and then when I in my character creator they look awesome, and then I go into the game, and in the gameplay they turn around and they have these huge lips. If you go back and change it, you have to play through that whole beginning again. Now imagine if you mess up on like maybe 3 shepherds. You have to do that all over again. That's what I did. I did that with Mass Effect 2. I had to do that so many times because I just wasn't happy with my character. The way that you solve that, if you're going to have a non-skippable beginning, that's fine. Always, always, always have an option to go back into the character creator and fix something. And don't make it hard to access. Like Dragon's Dogma, you had to get this one freaking stone or whatever, or who knows how many rift crystals or something like that to actually edit the whole character all over again. Like you could go to the barber and you could change the hair, the skin color, I believe, little things like that, but not everything else. The Black Emporium was perfect. It was perfect. You could just go in there and edit your character. That was it. On the mirror, that's it. You didn't have to like go and pay 3,000 gold or whatever to freaking edit your hair just slightly because you're like, oh, you know what? This color looks weird right now. I should change it. Or, you know, whatever. Or my nose looks wonky. Or my lips look like I'm freaking sick, something like that. Why don't games do that? It's like, it's logic. It's like people just, they make mistakes. And why would you make somebody go back and recreate the whole character all over again? Thank God for the Black Emporium. Oh, heavenly. And it was fun in there too. Freaking Xenon the antiquarian, dude. That is like one of my favorite characters in Dragon Age 2. Xenon the antiquarian. Dude, that guy was so funny. And his golem, Thaddeus, was it? I think. And Urchin. Dude, the Black Emporium was like the best. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This already went longer than I thought it would, but I'm gonna leave you guys with this question: if in the future or even now, if it was possible to edit, to customize your party members in say RPGs, would you? And if you did, how far would you go? Would it just be like, oh, I would just cut their hair? I wouldn't really change their features. Or would you go all out and make completely different characters? Like, kind of like on PCs where you could mod the characters and actually have them look completely different. Like a lot of Dragon Age mods out there where the characters, you're like, whoa, they look different. Like Alistair doesn't have his short hair anymore. He has longer hair now. It's like, it's kind of weird to me where I'm like, whoa. I mean, some of these look really good, but I don't know if I would go that far. Would you? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The character creator for Destiny is not bad, especially that robot, the Exo. The character creation for that, I was like, dude, this is so cool. You can make them look so awesome. The Exo was by far my favorite character to create on the Destiny alpha. You could get some really good looking girls on the alpha. I was like, wow, you can make them look really pretty. Like, I was like, damn, this girl's nice. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.